Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Here we are again.
Again in my increasingly untogether workshop.
Yeah, you're doing a. You told us earlier you're having a sort out.
Yes, which isn't happening too well at the moment.
It's basically just led to chaos.
Yeah.
You've got lots of synthesizers, and we've got a bit of a 1980s classic in some ways.
Yep,
maybe?
a JX3P. And apparently the 3P stands for.
Hold on a minute. It's programmable.
Yeah.
It's polyphonic, and it's got presets.
Mm.
And that each
So
one of
there.
those deserves its own P.
His own
in
P.
The title.
Yes. So they could have called it the JX3P, which would have been
PPP.
even better. Or perhaps not. Right, yeah, this is the one that came with the separate programmer that no one's ever got. It's got this kind of practice pad there, so you can pretend to.
I remember thinking that was really smart of them, because you buy the synthesizer and then very quickly realise that what you really would like is the little
is the extra bit to go with.
Spend another, I don't know how much they were. But
Yeah, the programmers actually tend to fetch more than the actual synths now.
Really?
But
Someone
someone has actually started making a clone of the programmer,
Of course they have.
which is about 110 quid, I think, which has
Really?
always struck me as a good deal.
Wow.
I've forgotten exactly who, but it's all over the internet anyway.
Wow.
Yes, what's wrong with this one is that well, mainly it's no longer got stereo output. It's never they're only really stereo when you switch the chorus on anyway. But
Okay.
but it is rather a nice sound. I was hoping it was just a wire come loose or something, but it's a bit more serious than that. Works in a slightly, not that much more serious, but it's there's a little chip down here. I've forgotten which one it is now. But basically it works in a slightly odd way. It takes the output from the oscillators and the filters and everything, and then it feeds it to the chorus unit, and then it comes back and there's two channels and is mixed in a rather odd way. But anyway, the mixer is this little dual op-amp chip. And that's gone wrong, so
Right.
so it's a new chip basically.
And is that an easy thing to find?
Oh yes, it's still an off-the-shelf part. I've got a box of them somewhere because they're used in all kinds of things. I do tend to automatically put in, rather than just soldering it back in, I'd put in a socket and plug it into that. Mainly because sometimes old circuit boards start breaking up a bit, and if it ever goes again, it's a bit less stressful if you can just pull it out and stick it in, and you don't have to soldering in the socket. You don't have to heat everything up so much, so
Right.
it's less. You don't get tracks peeling off and all that.
Less invasive surgery.
Yeah.
Very modern.
Apart from that, it's also got this, its backup battery isn't working. It's got this really weird backup battery that looks like nothing I've ever seen before. So I'll whip that out and stick in the standard socket. And there are a couple of keys. It's a bit fluffy inside.
A bit of a Hoover.
So a Hoover and
New battery.
new and a
chip.
soldering job. Not got it plugged into play because there's an awful lot of live electronics, live mains electric
Yeah.
floating around here,
That's
and
the
I'm
right-hand
drinking
side
coffee,
is
so
all
so
we've already had a
we've
slight.
had
coffee
one
incident.
slight coffee incident already. So these power capacitors, they're looking a bit domed on top as well, so I'll probably check those out as well. And
So domed means that
domed, they start. It means they're about to start seriously leaking.
Oh.
You can't always tell because some some big capacitors that are naturally a bit domed, but those actually feel squidgy as well.
Okay.
So
when you say they're going to leak, are they going to actually leak something? Or just
yeah,
leak
yeah. So they leak
juice?
the electrolyte
Oh,
from inside, which goes out, which that in itself doesn't cause that much damage usually, but it does mean they end up as much lower powered capacitors and,
Right.
and basically stop working.
okay. So would you replace those?
I'll replace it. I'll if they have domed and they're what I'll do is I'll check them and check they are within what they should be. Because like I say, I could be wrong, but it's worth a check.
Those look really beefy. So if you replace them, with the new capacitors the same, or are they smaller?
Much the same, yes. You
okay.
go well. They can be slightly smaller these days, but they tend to be. Electrolytic capacitors tend to be quite big and chunky anyway. And yeah, these are again all fairly. In fact, I think just about everything is fairly standard in here, apart from even the EEPROM chip that holds all the software that makes it work. Even that's a standard one, so
right.
you could actually get one and reprogram it.
So it's sort of 83. By the time we get to 83, we're starting to come into the sort of modern age where the bits are much easier to.
Yeah. So starting to. It's odd. It's because they were still mostly making them from standard parts as well. It's when you get kind of halfway through the 90s, you start getting kind of custom made chips and things, and it gets tricky again.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, so
That's a nice thing.
in terms of Roland, this was sort of after the Juno 6, after the 60, but before the
106.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was 106 was 84, 5, 4.
Can't remember.
If only I had a device in my hand.
Yeah.
You could tell me. I'll look it up. And
yes.
Because it's interesting, because the Jupiter as well, the Jupiter 4, the chorus on that, it's so nice.
It's exactly the same chorus.
Isn't it?
Exactly the same chorus. The only thing is you don't. Whereas you got two layers of chorus.
Yeah.
This one it works in a slightly different way. You've got chorus, which is basically the big chorus you used to get, and this one called mute that actually mutes the direct output and just gives you the chorus output, which makes it even more chorusy.
Right.
That doesn't always sound that good though.
Okay.
But yeah, it's got fairly basic MIDI. There's also an extra socket for the programmer box. There was a complete MIDI retrofit for it as well, which kind of works. And you've got the usual tape saving you got in those days as well, which is still a good way of doing it. You just record it into your computer as a WAV file and just send it back. But yeah.
Okay, well, one JX3P will be mended and
hopefully
working
working again soon.